Has the Justice League ever fought the Avengers? If you've followed superhero comics for any length of time, that question has probably crossed your mind at least once. After all, these are the two most famous super teams in the world, the very definition of who would win, playground debates. DC's Justice League, formed by icons like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Marvel's Avengers, boasting Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Two universes. Two teams. Thousands of stories. But have they ever actually met in battle? The answer takes us back to the early 2000s, but the story really starts much earlier. Back in the 1970s, Marvel and DC had begun occasionally working together, and both companies sensed an opportunity. The Avengers, arriving in the DC universe, find themselves at odds with the Justice League's very different approach to heroism. The League, seeing the Avengers act more like celebrities and soldiers for hire, are wary. Misunderstandings rapidly escalate. The Justice League appears before the Avengers while they re-investigating one of the artifacts. Heated words are exchanged. Before long, it's Captain America trading blows with Batman, Superman grappling with Thor, Wonder Woman sparring face-to-face with Hercules and She-Hulk. The Avengers are impressed and, sometimes unsettled by the awe the Justice League inspires in their world. The League, in turn, is surprised by how hard the Avengers have to fight for public trust and funding. JLA. Avengers remains, for now, the one and only time these superhero giants officially clashed. In comics, anything is possible. But for now, if you want to see the ultimate showdown, you'll have to turn to that legendary 4-issue series and maybe your own imagination. Both sides learn from each other, finding strengths in their differences. The timing was finally right. Marvel and DC set aside their differences and agreed to give fans what they declamored for years: a Justice League Avengers crossover. Written by Busiek and illustrated by George, two creators with reputations for both passion and diplomacy. Superman takes the upper hand but acknowledges Thor's power, saying that in any other circumstance the outcome could have been very different. Batman and Captain America square off, a contest more of skill and wit than raw power. After minutes of evenly matched combat, they pause, recognize the futility, and ultimately opt to work together. Crossovers were still rare, but they happened. Spider-Man met Superman, the X-Men teamed up with the Teen Titans. The real fight emerges, not hero versus hero, but both teams against the existential threats posed by the Grandmaster and Krona. Sacrifices are made, bonds are forged. At the time, the idea of a Justice League versus Avengers comic was floated and even began pre-production. It was a rite of passage, a test of character, and a way to bridge to fundamentally different worlds. The real legacy of JLA. Avengers wasn't who hit harder. It was the reminder that even the grandest rivalries can give way to something bigger: mutual respect, shared purpose, and the simple thrill of imagination. But it fell apart in a tangle of editorial disagreements, creative disputes, and, perhaps above all, the natural rivalry between the two publishers. With an epic, sprawling story that brought together virtually every significant member from each team's history, the dream stayed on the shelf. Fast forward to 2003, tastes had changed. Two incredibly powerful beings, DC's Krona and Marvel's Grandmaster, set the two realities against each other. To save their respective universes, each team must collect a set of powerful artifacts. Think Infinity Gauntlet, Cosmic Cube, and DC's Spear of Destiny, among others. But this wasn't just a meeting. This was a clash. The miniseries, officially titled JLA Avengers, ran for 4 issues between 2003 and 2004. It was as much celebration as confrontation. At first, predictably, the two teams do not get along. It begins with a cosmic calamity. But competition breeds suspicion. So yes, the Justice League fights the Avengers. The first encounter is classic comic book misunderstanding. If you want specifics, yes, Superman and Thor actually do fight. Their duel is brief, hard-hitting, and memorable. Over the course of the miniseries, relationships between the teams evolve from animosity to grudging respect to deep camaraderie. The context shifts. But the crossover isn't just brawling and spectacle. It examines what makes each universe and its heroes distinct. So the answer, yes, the Justice League has fought the Avengers. but their fight was never the point. Since then, the Justice League and Avengers have not squared off again.